Hi, Veronica.
Hello, hey.
Can you tell us about what your experience was like?
Okay. The first one on Friday when we attended the Many Lives, Many Masters workshop, went into regression, and what I saw of myself was a man, and I was in Persia, which that country doesn't exist anymore. So it's way, way back. And as far as I'm concerned, this is in Judah's time, so the time of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So I saw myself in a Hessian type clothing, the pointy shoes curled up in the front, and I was in a busy place. It was a marketplace, in olden times, and there are lots of people. Then after that, I saw people moving to one area. There seems to be rushing to another area. So when I looked up, and there was Jesus preaching in the hillside. So that resonates with me because in my previous regression, I was one of his helpers in healing. If I take that now to relate to my present life or before when I was working, I did nursing, I teach nursing in major hospitals in Adelaide, and that to me is healing, doing work in health. So that resonates with me very well.
Can you tell us about today's experience, that what you saw when we were exercising FACES?
Okay. So I was partnering with Maureen. She's an Australian woman, though her background is English. I know very little of her, just happened to be sitting next to her. And when I did FACES, regression therapy, a light one in darkness, we were in the dark room, her face changed, and I saw a series of faces, and they were always old faces of her, and I thought to myself, she's not that old, but very wrinkled, very old, and I see her with a woolen shawl, and that reminds me back to England's time, probably, I don't know, 18th century, 19th century time, where things were very poor. The old lady that I see seems to be very, very poor. The area seems to be very dark. It's not a rich area. And I see many faces. To me, it reminded me of Olivia Twist. If people could relate back to that sort of era. And there she was. Then I saw a face of a man, again English, but he was a worker from the coal mines type thing. So it's a very rough type man.
Yeah.
Then I saw a face of a chimpanzee giggling away. And then I saw a young face, and her face was pretty, like a doll. But then a lot more was more about old people, old faces. So, and after talking with Maureen, she says that is an area her mother doesn't want her to talk about because her grandmother died in a very poor and very, very similar to the environment that I described. So that was interesting.
Oh yeah, it sounds so.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, how old are you now?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm 71.
So I guess there are some lessons that you have learned in this life that you want to share with others. The most important lesson you've learned?
I'm not sure about learning what I've learned. Some of the regression makes me connect back to being a profession I'm in, healing. I'm always drawn to health. I'm also drawn to spirituality. Since I had the regression of meeting Jesus, and he's supposed to be my main guide. I've been told that many times, and I can't reject him. And so that's some things I accepted now. But what are the lessons I've learned from it? I'm not sure. I really am not sure. But as far as I'm concerned, I am energy in this body, and I'm ready to go.
Okay.
So to me, death is nothing.
You're not afraid of it.
Not fear of it. Not afraid of leaving people behind because they have their own lives.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. So death is never a frightening thing for me. Maybe pain, but not. But then today we have enough medications to do what we have to do. So no, not afraid of death at all.
Okay, great. Thank you for doing this interview today.
That's okay. Thank you.